ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
This franchise has been around since 1903, and there have been some unbelievable moments. Another one today? Got to stick around and find out. It is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Seattle Mariners in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Yesterday, the Yankees won their second game in a row and snapped the Mariners' 7-game winning streak. A 6-3 victory for the Yankees. Right in the middle of it was CC Sabathia, and he was dealing. What made him so good last night?
Well, we talked about he needed a bounce-back start. He came right from the bullpen with the best curveball he's had all year, and the left-handed hitters in Seattle just had no answer for it. As the game went on, he found a better two-seam fastball, but the left-handers and the right-handers were swinging on top of that curveball all night.
It was amazing. A complete game for Sabathia. He gets the victory, his 11th of the year. Let's take a look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup from the Yankee ace to the Mariner ace. Felix Hernandez will go for Seattle, 9-5, 2.79. Hiroki Kuroda's pitched very well for the Yankees, 10-7, 3.28. A couple of weeks ago, the Yankees saw the King Felix, in Seattle. How did he do, Paul?
Well, he's a little bit different pitcher than he was. He's still a power pitcher. He's still an elite pitcher in the American League. And you see, he can still throw that fastball by you, but he has learned and has a better split finger than he had a few years ago. He's pitching at the top of his game. The one thing you do remember about that start, he hit Alex Rodriguez. He's been out ever since. Good time to get back at him here at home.
Let's take a look at the numbers. He's 9-5, 2.79 ERA, 8th in Major League Baseball, 155 innings, second. Strikeouts 153, which is third, and he's tied for 11th in quality starts. This guy can pitch. Speaking of a guy who's been dealing, Hiroki Kuroda, you've got to see the splits on this guy. Started off slowly, ever since then, one of the best pitchers in baseball. We'll show you what we mean next on Yes. Kuroda has written for himself. First 9 games of the year, look at the numbers. 3-6, 4.56 ERA, 20 walks and just 34 strikeouts. Opponents hit .281 against him. But now take a look at the last 12 games. On fire, 7-1, a sparkling 2.46 ERA, and the strikeout to walk ratio, 73 strikeouts, just 15 walks, and opponents hitting .220 against him. An amazing split for Kuroda, and the Yankees hope it continues today. It is a hot, steamy Saturday afternoon in New York City. We come back for the lineups. First pitch, baseball, Yankees and the Mariners, next, right here on Yes. effective and fun restaurant on earth. Visit cheeseburger.com. By People's United Bank, discover what know-how can do. Member FDIC. And by Honda. Find your own great ending at the summer clearance event, now at your Honda dealer. It's hot on that field.
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
I'm gonna bring you one of those, just so we're talking about it. We can at least try one.
All right, let's do it. That's a good idea, that hat today. There's not much a cloud cover in the sky, but we are ready for baseball here at the stadium. Mariners starting lineup has the second baseman Dustin Ackley leading off. Batting second, playing center field, Michael Saunders. Jesus Montero, the DH, will hit third. Cleaning up the catcher, John Jaso. Kyle Seager at third base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing left field, Casper Wells. Mike Carp at first base will bat seventh. Number 8 hitter, right fielder Eric Thames. And Brendan Ryan, the shortstop, will bat ninth. And the numbers on Kuroda. He's 10-7, and he has a 3.28 ERA, less than a hit per inning. Strikeout to walk ratio pretty good. 245 opponents batting average against. And let's look at the McDonald's pitcher scouting report, Paul.
Daytime dominance, so he's 4-0 in daytime starts, and this is an impressive stat. He's 30 scoreless innings over that stretch. So, top of his game, he's made 11 starts with at least 7 innings, 2 runs allowed. There's only one other pitcher that have done that, and he's facing him today, Felix Hernandez. And he's a homebody, kind of like you, Michael. 7-3 at home in 12 home starts. Only 3-4 on the road.
Ackley takes a strike, and we are underway. And the 0-1. 1-1. It seems like it took Kuroda a little time to adjust to the new league and the new lineups. We showed you previously the split at the beginning of the year, like he was going to struggle, but boy, he's been one of the dominant pitchers over his last 12 starts. Ground ball is short. Jeter's right there. And Ackley's out. Why don't we take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Suzuki, Granderson, and Swisher left to right in the outfield. Chavez, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira third and first. Russell Martin gets to start day game after night game behind the plate. And Kuroda is on the mound. Martin was very happy with the successful pairing of Martin and Sabathia yesterday. He said, I knew if I did poorly or CC had a bad game that people would say that was the reason. So he really wanted them to click, and they clicked to the extent of a complete game win. Michael Saunders takes outside.
And looking back at CC, and I tweeted it after the game, it's the best I've seen him all year. He really found his fastball throughout the game, and he had his curveball right out of the bullpen. So it's just a lot to work with. Russell Martin did a great job last night calling the game. Talk about Kuroda's success and what he's done in the past couple months, and it's all about being able to pitch ahead. Early in the year, he was always behind in the count. He didn't get to the his strikeout counts where he could use his split finger. And to me, he's using his slider early in the count a lot more to throw strikes.
Driven out to center field. It's deep. Going back is Granderson. He's there, and he'll make the play. Saunders retired for the second out. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Why don't we dispense?
It's hot.
It is hot.
It's humid today. There's no doubt about it. And you saw Granderson on that fly ball continue to backpedal. Just shows you what the heat will do. The ball will carry today. Two good pitchers. They have to battle that to keep the ball in the ballpark.
Nice use of that uniform top. The pitch is inside to Montero. Montero traded from the Yankees for Michael Pineda and Jose Campos. And has not been a good deal for the Yankees at this point. You have to evaluate it over the long haul. Pineda's shoulder has been surgically repaired. Campos has had some arm woes in the minors as well. Chopped to first. Teixeira right there. A nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Hiroki Kuroda as the Mariners go down in order. Seattle nothing. Yankees coming to bat. mound. And here's the Yankees starting lineup that he's going to face, presented by Lexus. Curtis Granderson in center field will lead off. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, bats second. Hitting third, the second baseman, Robinson Cano. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll clean up. If this looks familiar, same lineup from last night. Raul Ibanez will DH. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Nick Swisher. Eric Chavez, they wanted to see how he felt during batting practice. He's back in the lineup, playing third base, batting seventh, batting eighth, and playing left field. Ichiro Suzuki and Russell Martin will catch, and he will bat ninth. And here is former Cy Young Award winner Felix Hernandez. 23rd start, 9-5, 2.79 ERA. Great hits to innings ratio. 41 walks, 153 strikeouts. And let's take a look at the McDonald's pitcher's scouting report.
Well, he's better than ever. He's a little different. He's learned to change up. That's been a strikeout pitch for him. Still a power pitcher, though. Averaging almost 9 strikeouts a game, which is a career high. And he's got their number. He's one of 2 major league pitchers to beat the Yankees in each of the last 4 seasons. David Price was the other one. All-time Mariner. You know, he leads or is second in almost every category. Starts, strikeouts, shutouts. So he and Randy Johnson are on the top of the list for Seattle pitchers.
Granderson hits it right into the teeth of the shift. That should have been a single, but Ackley was in short right field to retire Granderson.
We've seen Ackley even last night make some plays, and it's just not a shift. It's a deep shift. That's short right field. It's kind of like the softball thing, where you can kind of move an outfielder to left center or right center.
Here's Derek Jeter. 7-game hitting streak for Jeter. Had a strong month of July. His average at 360. And a strike. That's Larry Vanover behind the plate. Jeter leads the American League with 138 hits. And that's third in the major leagues behind Melky Cabrera, 146, and Andrew McCutchen, 141. I told you Vanover's behind the plate. Angel Campos at first, Jerry Lane at second, and Vic Carapazza is over at third. Grounded to third. Seager gets Jeter for the second out. Let's check out the Mariners defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Wells, Saunders, and Thames left to right in the outfield. Seager, Ryan, Ackley, and Karp third to first. John Jaso behind the plate, and Hernandez is on the run. There's Robinson Cano.
Bobby Cano, one of the few guys in the Yankees lineup to have success against King Felix.
The numbers Paul's talking about, great numbers against an outstanding pitcher. 14 for 37 with 2 home runs. And the numbers just got better. Into the gap. Saunders will have to play it up against the wall, and Cano will stop at second with a double.
Oh, what a way to start the day, Michael. As a hitter, you go up, you're facing a premier pitcher, you see a ball away, and you drive it away. You don't try to pull it. You see he just stays on that ball so long. Strong enough now at this stage in his career to just drive it out to the wall in left center field. Great swing, great player.
So runner in scoring position for Teixeira with 2 outs. Oh, that's right. Another guy with good numbers against Hernandez, 19 for 58. 5 of the 19 have left the park.
see Felix Hernandez. I mean, he's low 90s now. I guess he can get up to 94. But, you know, you remember 3-4 years ago, he was mid to upper 90s. So he has changed a little bit. Still has a great, there it is right there, his changeup. It has tremendous movement. And it's not a true changeup because he doesn't take that much off of his fastball. But he gets a lot of movement with it. So while you look back at what he did, you know, the last 2, 3, 4 years, and you see a guy that threw a lot of innings and he got out of this one.
Ackley backing up, and in short right field, he'll make the play for the final out of the first. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We've played 1 at the stadium. There's no score. John Jaso will lead off the second. Which of these right-handed American League starters would you least want to face in an elimination game? Would it be Zach Greinke of the Angels, Felix Hernandez of the Mariners, Jake Peavy of the White Sox, Justin Verlander of the Tigers, or Jared Weaver of the Angels?
I'm going 4, Michael.
I think I'm going 4 too. You can text your vote at 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply. Verlander could just overpower you.
Yeah, if he has one of those nights where, you know, he's in that. See that, Michael? They're texting 4 right now. They heard you. They got the transistors on from the old days. It's amazing how texting comes into play and everything. You know, baseball games, dinner with the kids. Every time I look around, somebody's texting.
It's great because you really don't have to talk to people.
That's right. Are we going to text a telecast one of these days?
You know what? We might. You ever walk down the street though when somebody's texting, they don't even look up, they'll walk right into you.
Almost like forearm shivering. You've heard about my driving. I got to keep my eyes on the road. I can't be looking at people.
Jaso lines one to right field. It's a base hit. 1 hop up against the wall. Swisher comes up throwing. And Jaso's in there with a leadoff double in the second.
Well, you like as a manager, Jaso is one of the few guys in this lineup, numbers-wise, that has hit the ball pretty much all year. And, you know, you see this ball, the fastball down, drives it in there. Early in the game, you've got to test an outfielder. Nick Swisher gets a good care of him. If the ball is on target, it's a close play, but you've got to make them throw you out. Just a little bit off target. Jaso's done a good job catching King Felix this year. He's 5-0 with him.
Seager does his job. Moves Jaso to third. 1 out. Always like that play more than a bunt, because you got a chance to hit the ball into the outfield for a base hit. You bunt, okay, you move the guy over, you use the out, you lost the out, you sacrificed yourself. And a lot of players will put that bunt down because they don't want to lose the points off their average. So runner at third, and the Yankees bring the infield in early with Casper Wells at the plate. Wells with a changeup off Sabathia. First base runner, that came in the fourth.
You'll see young hitters, they have such a tendency to get behind in the count here. Then you start to put pressure on yourself just to get the guy in from third. Good move by Girardi to put the pressure on a young hitter.
Sabathia tied for the team lead with 11 wins. He and Phil Hughes with 11. Popped up. That's not going to get a run in. Jeter makes the play for the second out. Eric Wedge, the Mariner manager, had this to say about CC last night. CC was outstanding, as good as I've seen him. He had everything working. I think he beats anybody tonight with what he was throwing out there. We parked that, put that away, and come out here ready to win a ball game tomorrow. Eric Wedge managed CC for a while in Cleveland. Who knows him well and thinks that's about as well as he's thrown. Infield could back up with Mike Carp at the plate. 2 outs now.
Oh.
1-0.
Perot has put himself in a position now where you can get out of this inning. That's the one thing when you move a guy over, it's really, really important that that guy gets him in. And right now you're into that 2-out position where you got an opportunity to get out of this inning and save a run.
Found the unprotected area. Got him right on the shoulder.
A wake-up call early if you're a catcher, huh? Make sure you know where you are.
Blocked there by Martin. Count 2-1.
Good job by Martin. Obviously, with a man on third, nothing can get by you. This ball hits in front of the plate. You see, good job down here. Immediately taken off there. Get a read as you go down the line.
On a day like this, I mean, all athletes have to be in good shape, but a catcher has to be in extraordinary shape. Paul and I were both on the field today. It is searingly hot. The air is so still, and you wear the gear, and you're moving around back there. You must sweat off 10, 12 pounds. You got to be in great shape.
It comes into play.
2-2. Oh. Just missed.
Again, a good pitch. You could get a swing and a pop up there, or you're setting up that inside, the outside pitch, or that split finger away.
Still 3-2.
Carp, good pitch to hit there. That ball was up a little bit. It had sink, but it was up a little bit. You really can't get in a hurry as a pitcher. You can't throw a pitch that he can handle here. You do have the base open and you do have 2 outs.
And that one is laced into left field for a base hit. So Mike Carp picks up a ribby, and Seattle leads 1-0.
Again, I think Kuroda got in a hurry there and just wanted to try to get out and then force himself out of this inning. And all of a sudden, you know, you see this glove start to come back this way, and that's what happens. A piece of hitting, driving into left field. Big pickup for the Seattle Mariners to get ahead early in this game with their ace on the mound.
There's Eric Thames. Strike. That is the first run that Kuroda has given up in 31 2/3 innings of day game baseball.
I think every once in a while you go back to that pitch, you just want to force and rush and get through that inning, and you cannot give a guy a pitch to drive in. Again, with the bases open, you can still get out of that inning with 2 outs. Let's face it, Mike, you just miss. Every once in a while you just miss with pitches. Road has been so good. I mean, what was that, 31 point? Wow. Good chance to win some games in that streak.
Seems like he'd be the perfect Cub. A lot more day game starts.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to figure out where you're going with it. Well, the problem is if you're a Cub, you're in last place. Don't know if you want to pitch. Eric Thames last night, if you remember, just missed that home run ball that Eric Chavez hit.
Had a laugh in the dugout because before he came up to the plate, Chavez had said to Mark Teixeira, he goes, "How come I never get into those cheap Yankee Stadium home runs? All of my home runs would be home runs anywhere." And he got back to the dugout, and Teixeira goes, "You got one now."
Yeah.
Runner goes, swung on and missed. And that'll do it here in the second. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Raul Ibanez will lead off. Mariners 1-0. Network Yankee games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get the remaining season of live Yankees games on the go for just $29.99. If you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Well, the Yankees are down 1-0 to Hernandez, and it'll be Ibanez, Swisher, and Chavez here in the bottom of the second. You look up at the board in right center, and this is the only 1 o'clock start in baseball. And there's only one 4:05 start, and that's Toronto at Oakland. So that would be 1:05 on the West Coast. Everything else is at night. That one is driven down the right field line. Is it fair? No, it's a foul ball.
When you're facing a premier pitcher, it seems like every time you look up, you're in a 2-strike count. Give him an opportunity to throw that nasty changeup.
And Vic Carapazza punches him out.
The reason you swing at this is because it's got such great arm speed. It looks like a fastball out of his hands, and you kind of commit to it.
He might have held up more.
I'm always on the hitter's side, Michael. I always think they held up.
Let's see. I don't know. I've seen a lot worse than that called checks. But Carapazza is the final judge and jury.
It's so bad when your bat comes down to one guy being the judge and the jury, Michael. Huh?
That's why you didn't like those
Especially
people.
if you're not on good terms with them.
Which is why you didn't like those
What are
people.
you saying? I think Swisher's really had good at-bats since he's been. Well, we talked about it last night, and the difference to me is he's just square. I mean, he's a line drive hitter right now. It doesn't look like he's over-swinging, trying to hit the ball out of the park. You know, it's so good to have balance in a lineup, guys that, you know, hit your line drives, gap hitters, and you have so much power.
Dribbled slowly to second, Ackley for 2 outs.
That wasn't the at-bat I was looking for after I was kind of saying how good he was swinging, right?
Now, Yankees got a little bit of a scare yesterday with Chavez late in the game. Took a swing, and you could see something was up with his ankle. Joe Girardi said it was just stiff. There wasn't pain, and he thinks that he originally heard it in the Boston series when he got hit on that ankle area. So the lineup was not up on the door early today because they wanted to see how Chavez felt. After he took BP, he was fine. So back in the lineup today.
That means you were here early today?
Earlier than you. That one is lined into left field, and running toward left center is Saunders, and that will do it. Yankees go down in order. We're going to go to the 3rd inning. It's 1-0 M's. Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The umbrellas today are not for rain, that's for sure. They took those fans we had up here away.
We had a few of those. See, we broke those things in style, Michael. Now everybody's using them.
They were up here and they're gone.
The only thing it misses from this booth,
I think it's the same person that stole my cream soda. That's what I think.
You got to bolt stuff down up here, you know. Stole your cream soda?
I had cream soda up here.
Oh.
Swing and a miss.
Red cream soda or just
no,
red?
She's regular.
Boy, now look at this. Now that, you know, this is what the booth should be. You ask for something, it just shows up like it dropped out of the air. We've got our O2 cools now.
Lincoln scoreboard 1-0 Seattle.
My battery's not working. You got action over there?
Like you read about it. Swing and a miss. Now, Paul, you mind if I cool you off now?
Yeah.
Here we
go.
Oh,
this nice. Oh, I got no fan today.
Yeah, there's a fan. Yeah, my fan's working. You do it. You can use mine. That's what teammates are about. That's the sound of Paul's fan. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Ryan down on strikes against Kuroda.
Again, the ball's kind of up. Tricked him. Ryan, we talked about how good he is defensively, but offensively this year he's struggled. And when you start swinging at balls up out of the strike zone, it's going to make it tougher. Kuroda at 93. You know, he's at his best right now. I mean, even the year out, he was 90, 91, and it just a couple miles an hour. You've seen it in Freddie Garcia. It really makes a big difference in the way he pitches.
Driven out to left field. Ackley retired by Suzuki, 2-away.
Ackley hit that home run late off CC in the 9th yesterday, and I tell you what, it really showed what kind of power he had. The ball ended up way up in the bleachers there, and only hit he gave up to lefties all night. CC was dominant against the lefties.
And a strike to Michael Saunders.
Good slider, and that's what, again, what Kuroda I think has really made an adjustment is being able to throw that slider early in the count for a strike.
Moving out to right. Swisher makes the basket catch, and that'll do it. As the Mariners go down in order, if we go to the bottom of the third, it'll be Ichiro, Martin, and Granderson. they were given when they walked into the ballpark to strike out blood cancer. Every 4 minutes, someone is diagnosed with blood cancer. Every 10 minutes, someone dies. And blood cancer is the second leading cause of all cancer deaths in the United States and kills more children than any other disease. And many of these deaths can be prevented. In fact, your bone marrow could be the key to providing a cancer patient a new chance at life. All you have to do is get swabbed and signed up. And that's what happened today. Chief Inspection Officer for DKMS, Katharina Harf, was here supervising, and it's a great thing that the Yankees are involved in. So get swabbed and get into the donor base. We go to the bottom of the third as Ichiro Suzuki takes a pitch high on the Lincoln scoreboard. It's 1-0 Seattle. Suzuki with a 10-game hitting streak. Grounded fellow. Talked with Kevin Long, the Yankee batting coach, before the game, and he said there are some players that can't make contact at will. He said that's why you see players have strikeouts, a lot of strikeouts. He said Ichiro and Robinson Go can hit the ball wherever it's pitched. Doesn't matter, no matter how fast it is, no matter what kind of curve. They can always put bat to ball. He said that's a skill. Don Slaught has the longest hitting streak to begin a Yankee career. Former catcher, had 12 straight in 1988. Then Mariano Duncan and Everett Scott had 11-game streaks. And now Ichiro has an 11-game streak off the glove of the diving Carp. So 11 in a row. Every game he's played as a Yankee, he has hit safely.
And Ichiro, this is his game. If he can just slap balls around, keep the ball on the ground, good chance to beat out balls to the left side and get it through on the right side. Michael, I still don't think, even after 10 games, that you get a true feeling of what he's going to mean to this team coming down the stretch. You feel that way?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the best of him, because even though it was a 10-game streak before that at bat, he's hitting 250 during that time.
I mean, here, you know, with no outs, is going to be a guy that can steal some bases for you? Is that pass? Or, I mean, I think that's what the Yankees brought him in to do, to score runs in different ways.
Martin fouls it off.
Power pitchers, King Felix included, are, you know, good guys to steal bases. Tons of movement, hard throwers, slow deliveries. And you pitch a change-up count where that ball's going to be down in the dirt. Makes it really hard for Jaso to try to get a good throw off.
You
see that good change up there, and that's almost, I mean, a lot of people want to think it's a split finger or something. That is a true change up, and it just has unbelievable movement.
Martin's been hot of late, hitting .333 over his last 7 games. 7 for 21. Grounded to third. This could be 2. There's 1. On to first. Around the horn. 5-4-3 double play.
You almost, you know, if you're Ichiro, you feel disappointed. You know, you start the inning off with a hit, and you don't know what would have happened if you would have had an opportunity to run. It ends up being a double play. And we talked about it. The Seattle Mariners defensively are very sound, and these are the things that happen. Felix is going to tell them where to go, to first, to second. Yeah.
I wonder why pitchers do that. Don't you think the third baseman knew to throw it to second?
You think the third baseman's looking at him? I think it's just kind of a habit.
It's like when David Cone pointed up the last out of his perfect game.
Nobody else saw it. Only Cone.
1-1. Popped up, shallow center field. A long run, but Saunders makes the play for the final out of the third inning. No runs a hit, no errors, nobody left. Hernandez helps out. Hey, it's a pop-up. I got it. 1-0. We go to the fourth. Seattle leads. Mariners. We'll find that out in the bottom of the fourth. The guy in the Life is Good shirt, hat and the glasses on the right, Michael Cooney, the director of our pre and post game show. Obviously not working today, and his family is with him.
Oh, got two of those off the top of my head, Mike.
What, the Life is Good shirts?
No.
All the gold gloves?
Yeah. I'm my train of thought. I'm not firing another one.
Montero hammers one to left field. It's a base hit. Getting it back in is Ichiro, so leadoff single.
Montero, we talked about his success against lefties, and you didn't really see it last night because CC Sabathia was so good. To get that ball up in the zone, as you saw that last pitch, hit the righties too, but I mean, he's not where he's going to be. I mean, he's going to be a better hitter. He's a young kid. He's going to learn to get more power. I mean, it's a tough ballpark when you think about being a young hitter and you see everybody hitting all these home runs, and then you play in Seattle. Very tough park because of the gaps, and the ball just doesn't carry. Good slider. Kind of forget, as good as Sabathia was last night, that this team came in with a 7-game winning streak, averaging 10 something hits a game. So that, you know, they came in playing as well as they've played all year. All of a sudden you see a couple mistakes by Kuroda, and you're starting to see base runners. So Eric Wedge did a great thing, talking to his team, telling them, hey, this was a great pitcher, shut us down. Don't forget where we've been in the past week. Let's get back to it tomorrow.
Count 2-2.
Mike, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, not even before the game at Montero. I mean, he was a catcher. Was he ever going to be able to catch? But if you look at this lineup, I mean, Jaso, one of their better hitters, Olivo, who caught last night, so he's not going to have an opportunity to catch there. Either you're going to have to play some first base, or you're just going to be a DH from day one.
Oh, what a play by Teixeira in self-defense, and he makes a double play. Wow, you can't hit the ball much harder than that.
Absolutely, and in a day game, you get a late read on that, and you see Mark Teixeira, especially with sunglasses on. It's very hard to, I mean, it does cut down the glare, but very hard to pick up a ball hit that hard out of the seats, out of the shirts. Look a lot easier in slow motion, I'm sure, but you see right there, it is almost, it's just a reaction. Oh, hit right on the nose. I'll tell you what, those are the ones as a hitter, you just, you know, you just shake your head, you walk back, and then it just irritates you. It just sinks in for the next 10 minutes or so. Just how hard you hit that ball and got nothing for it.
I can still hear the bitterness in Paul's voice. No runs to hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. Quiz, what four players each won a Gold Glove for the 03 Mariners? I'll take Ichiro as one, the easy one. Who else you have?
Griffey.
All right, let's see. Olroot, Boone, Ichiro, and Cameron. If you keep guessing Griffey,
you just got to throw Griffey out there every time, don't you?
Suzuki has 10 Gold Gloves, so that's always a good guess. Jeter will lead off here in the bottom of the fourth. Yankees have gone 21 straight games at home with a home run, for a total of 42 home runs, and the team record is 23 straight games, which was set back in 1963. Now, Felix Hernandez will try to stop that streak, and he's pitched very well here at a ballpark that yields home runs and yields runs. And Paul, he has a 3-1 record with a 1.47 ERA in this ballpark. That's really outstanding.
Mike, I just want to update why Griffey didn't win a Gold Glove when he wasn't there. He was traded to Cincinnati in 2000. Makes it tough to win one in Seattle, doesn't it?
It does kind of shed some light on why that was not the right answer.
Ball up out of the zone, but King Felix, when he gets you looking for that changeup down in the dirt, then he'll sneak that fastball by you upstairs, which he did to Derek here.
It really was amazing if you think about it, Paul. In short time, they got rid of Randy Johnson, Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey, and they kept getting better. They won 116 games in 2001.
Yeah, Brett Broom walks in there, was the MVP of the league. Edgar Martinez was kind of a, just an unbelievable DH.
That was some team. Now, this is induction weekend in the NFL Hall of Fame. And I think a great test case for what a DH is viewed as is going to be when Edgar Martinez either gets in or doesn't get in, because I don't think there's ever been a better full-time DH. But a lot of people say, well, DH is half a position, but it is still a position.
Yeah, well, you know, the numbers that he put up year after year and how he made a lineup. I mean, you built a lineup around him. He was that good of a hitter.
He was the reason, and you were there, Paul, that the Yankees lost in '95, because when he hit the grand slam in Game 4 against John Wetland, that kind of scared Buck Showalter off of using Wetland in Game 5, and he didn't know what he had in Mo yet, so he used Jack McDowell to try to close the game. Edgar Martinez, a .312 lifetime hitter, 309 home runs, 1,261 ribbies. It was fun to watch him hit. And the DH really made his career because he had ripped a hamstring when he was young. He used to play third base and just couldn't move around, but he could hit. Grounded to second. Ackley is there for the second out.
It's funny because I actually played winter ball over in Puerto Rico, and he was on the team that I was on. And a lot of times they bring American players over there. And, you know, the American players have been playing. And he was a young kid from Puerto Rico that, you know, was kind of on the team but didn't even play. And you watch him in batting practice and think to yourself, how can this guy not play over here? And, you know, years later, here he is, an all-star over in Major League Baseball. He was always a good hitter.
Mark Teixeira hits one to short right field. Boy, that shift has worked for the Mariners as Ackley throws out Teixeira. And the Yankees go down in order here in the fourth. We played 4 full. It's 1-0 Seattle. Casper Wells is going to lead off the fifth. That team, and they came into Yankee Stadium. They looked like they were overmatched, and then after the All-Star break, the Yankees go to Oakland, and the Oakland A's sweep them, and they had an unbelievable month of July, and they keep it rolling. They are in the wild card if the season were to end today, and an amazing 15-inning win yesterday, Paul. That must be fun, 15 innings. Cadillac scoreboard, 1-0 Seattle.
Well, you know, when you're young and you're on a team that is achieving things that nobody thought you would, you know, you get it's just a great attitude to go to the ballpark and prove, and you're trying to prove people wrong. And all of a sudden you get to this point of the year and you start believing that you are that good.
Swing and a miss.
Let's face it, it's really never been a great place to go, you know, to fly out to Oakland to play. It's really not a baseball park. It's a football park made into a baseball field. You know, they play well at home, and you know, youth is fun to watch when it becomes successful.
the longest game you ever played in?
Well, don't you? We had a doubleheader against Detroit,
right.
And I think we played 18 innings, or 15 or 18 innings in the first game, and then we had another 9-inning game after that. Yeah, I think we played 27 innings that night.
Did you play every inning?
Yeah, yeah.
Swing and a miss. Wells down on strikes. Hey, you got to come out to the stadium Monday, August 13th for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Rangers. The first 18,000 guests 21 and older receive a Yankees picture frame courtesy of Avis. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
Is that me or you?
That's me.
I was going to put a little laugh roll on it to help you.
Pitch is outside the cart.
Mike Carp, big RBI single with 2 outs. Only run been scored today.
Just got a tweet from one of our viewers, Paul. They people want a little Frank and Mary update. Anything going on?
Frank and Mary are out of town. We're on our own tonight. Yeah, vacationing down in Florida. Birthday went well.
Now, how do they leave for Florida when they know the O'Neills are in town? How's that possible?
You know, that's kind of just. You know what? Every once in a while, I ask Frankie the same thing. Every time I turn around, you're going to Florida. Do you ever work? I said, no, my wife does.
2-1. There's a strike. 2-2. Only run in the game in the second, a double by Jaso. He moved to third on a grounder by Seager. Then Casper Wells popped to short for the second out, but Carp drove him in with a single left. That's where we stand right now. 1-0. Kuroda against Hernandez. Missed outside.
Only this day and age, Michael, can you get updates on Frank and Mary by Twitter? Huh?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Do they realize how big they've become?
I don't know.
I told Paul this. I was in Cortland for Jet Camp last week, and I drove past a restaurant. The name of the restaurant was Frank and Mary's.
I'll tell you one thing, they wouldn't have any better food than I eat up in Harrison at Frank and Mary's house.
The 3-2. That one ate up to Sherry. Probably didn't see it till it was by him. And Carp is going for 2, and he will make it.
Tell you what, Carp has had 2 good at bats, one to left center and then a bullet down the right field line here. And again, I think you're right, Michael. It's just a reaction. You just don't pick up the spin and the movement on that ball, because it's hit so hard. It's got like top spin on it. And you can't really fault the player if you can't see it. That ball was by him before he got his glove net. And that's all about picking up the ball off the bat. And as a player in a day when it's bright, sometimes you just don't see the ball come off the bat.
Wade Boggs used to tell me at the old stadium, a day game, sometimes he was fearful at third base because of the grade of the stands. He said, and the ball was coming out of white shirts in day games. He said, people wear light clothing in the summer. He goes, and you wouldn't see the ball till it was right on you. He said, sometimes it got scary.
And it was different. As an outfielder, you would see the ball off the bat and you would break on it, and then you could lose it in the shirts, almost like losing the ball in the lights as it started to come down.
Fouled away.
It's a pitch Thames. I mean, he's been tied up yesterday with CeCe, and you could see a lefty can run a ball in on you, especially when he's showing you that good curveball. But this is a pitch that he needs to handle. All right down the middle of the plate, fastball. Talked a little yesterday about his new kind of weight regimen to try to lean out a little bit, and still strong guy when he gets the bat head up. was originally drafted by the Yankees. The 39th round, though, when he chose to stay at Pepperdine. I guess that's not such a bad choice when you're hanging out there.
I've heard that's a pretty nice school to go to. Strike three. Fame's now looking. Let's look at today's Toyota text poll and see how you voted. And here's the question again. Which of these right-handed American League starters would you least want to face in an elimination game? Overwhelmingly, they voted with us, Justin Verlander. Overpowering, almost unhittable at times. Everybody else is a pretty good second. And that bodes well for California, that 2 of the 5 pitch for the Angels. And dating myself, California Angels, LA Angels of Anaheim.
I did that series, Michael. I must have done that 10 times in that series. That's just what you know. If you think about it, that they've been the California Angels, they've been the Anaheim Angels, the Los Angeles Angels. You got to run out of names here soon, don't you?
Yeah, you would think. And, you know, for those that aren't familiar with Southern Cal geography, Anaheim is not L.A.
It's not in L.A.
No.
It's far from, you can't even see the skyline of L.A. from Anaheim.
It's a long ride away.
It's Disneyland. It's, you know, we stayed right there by Disneyland.
But Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, felt that it was better branding for his team to be called the L.A. Angels.
Those were the days, Michael. Walking out to the pool in Anaheim.
That's right.
Peeking over, looking at you, just getting your son.
That's a little scary. There's a strike count, 2-2.
Have you noticed in the Olympic swimming how they've changed, got away from the Speedos? They've gone to the longer. I hope you've updated your wardrobe out there, Michael.
Let me tell you something, Paul.
Go ahead, let it go.
There's never been one day in my 51 years on Earth that I would ever dare to put on a Speedo.
No way, I'm with you. So don't worry about it.
The 2-2. Outside 3-2. Now, John Sterling, my former partner on the radio side, he used to rock a Speedo.
Regularly.
Yeah.
Huh? Those are one of those things in life you just like wake up, you look in yourself in the mirror and say, you know, this looks good.
I guess. There's John Sterling.
Ooh, tough pitch.
So first and second, 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. It's 1-0 Seattle.
Again, I think Kuroda went for that perfect pitch. He gave up that 2-out, 2-strike hit before. Borderline away, borderline low. Down.
There's a strike to Dustin Ackley. Ackley is grounded to short and flied out to left. Top of the 5th inning, Saturday afternoon in New York City. It's a big spot in the game with Hernandez on the mound. We don't want to give up too many more. So he's got to bear down and get Ackley here.
It's kind of what we advertise. 2 good pitchers are kind of at their best this time of the year, both pitching good games. One of the better Seattle Mariners with runners in scoring position. 15 for 73, hitting .205. The thing is a lot of times pitchers just look at it. You know, sometimes they give hitters too much credit, and I think vice versa. Hitters will give pitchers too much credit, and then they just pitch too carefully to guys.
And Kuroda will work out of trouble as Cano gets the ball to Teixeira, and that will do it. No runs a hit and 2 men left. We're halfway through. Yankees down 1-0. Ibanez will lead it off. Sent us this question. Who is the third player the Yankees got along with Tino Martinez and Jeff Nelson in a trade with Seattle? I got to tell you, Paul, I know this one.
You know what? You're ridiculous.
I did. I do.
Well, you remember reading that in the game notes like 20 years ago or what?
No, I lived it. I was here. And I'm not giving you a clue this time because that's how you got the answer yesterday.
That was a big one, too.
Yeah, this is not going to happen.
Anybody else in this booth got a clue? Audrey?
And don't look it up,
Jack,
Sharon.
anybody. Chris? Oh, Chris, you're in the game. You're not going to help. I got to. All right, I'm going to get the Rolodex going upstairs here and see if I can bring this one out.
Just stay off your phone, though.
Oh, well, like I said, who's going to help me? Meredith? Is she at home? Can she text me?
Yeah, she already phoned her in the right answer.
She had the right answer before we even asked the question.
Exactly. One, 2. 2-2. Ibanez struck out in the second inning. 1-0 Seattle, bottom of the fifth.
Last time Ibanez got to this count and he swung at that ball in the dirt, and a lot of times as catchers you'll either go back to it or you'll get a fastball up in the zone, try to get that fastball by him, because as a hitter you remember what you struck out on, so you start to, in the back of your mind, look for that off-speed pitch again, Tried to sneak the fastball by him. Ibanez fouled it off.
And it almost becomes a situation, what side's going to outthink themselves? So Hernandez got him on an off-speed pitch last time, so he's thinking that again, so I'll throw him a fastball. Maybe if he'd gone with the off-speed pitch, he would have gotten him again.
Well, you know, that's the pitch he struck out on right there. And, you know, you in the back of your mind, you remember it. But now you're in a 3-2 thing. And the thing about Hernandez, though, is he's got a good enough fastball. If anything else is on your mind, he'll throw it right by you. And that's the thing as a hitter. I always believe that you have to hit off the fastball. You look fastball, and you adjust to everything else. Fastball away.
Popped up. And Acme makes the play. Hitting the road, take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees out-of-market game live, online, and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. If you look at Felix Hernandez, and Paul intimated this earlier, he's no longer 96, 97, 98 miles an hour, which he was at the beginning. But still somehow he remains dominant because he's become a pitcher.
He's much better as a pitcher, and he's got a changeup, and he throws his breaking ball, and he spots his fastball better. And when you're 97, you throw the ball by people, and you don't rely on setting up pitches and things like that. He's gotten older. He's had a couple years where he's thrown 240, 250 innings, and you know, pitchers get worn down, and you lose a couple miles an hour. But he has not. He's actually gained a better changeup and a better knowledge how to pitching, so he's a much better pitcher than he was.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So Jaso goes out and talks with him, and Jaso and Hernandez got it going on. With Jaso behind the plate, 4-0, 1.11 ERA. With Olivo behind the plate, 2-3, 3.19. And with Montero, 3-2, 3.34. So a full 2 runs less with Jaso behind the plate. That's what I'm talking about. Obviously, the more you catch him, the more likely that you'll have a bad game or a stinker thrown in there to push the numbers up. Strike 3. Swisher down looking. Doesn't love the call.
Again, you overthink sometimes on the outside corner if they hit the outside corner, but it's 93 right at the knees. Overhead doesn't lie, Michael. Yeah, got the corner.
You think he was arguing outside or low?
Well, I think as a hitter, you just kind of sit there and just think, you know, I had an at bat. I really never got into it, and you know, you just want to make sure that you still know where that is. You might ask the umpire, where was that pitch? If he tells you on the corner or just off the corner, you know, then you feel better about going back and knowing you still understand the strike zone. It's funny how sometimes when your mechanics go, you lose out. You know, you lose where the strike zone is. And you start pulling off pitches, that ball away seems like it's in the other batter's box. And when everything's going well, you can tell a ball in strike is a hitter. Hernandez has come out this inning and got 2 quick outs, and he's really stuck with the fastball. That's really, really good pitchers that make it very tough. You know, the second, third times through the lineup, they'll pitch you different. They'll get away from the changeup, go back to the fastball. As soon as they need it, they'll go back to the changeup, and it makes it very difficult on hitters. We talked about, you know, what he's become as a pitcher, and you look back. I mean, he used to pitch in deep counts, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks. You know, he's really gotten away from that. Pitches ahead now, doesn't walk a lot of people. That's a tough one to catch there. That ball That's about a 45. That'd have been a strike in Little League, Michael. 45 feet. Once in a while, you just overthrow this, just kind of long darting.
So Chavez has worked the count 3-2.
Seems to like to go to that fastball away here in the full count. Again.
Grounded to first. Carp right there. Then a 1-2-3 inning for Felix Hernandez and the Mariners. We're going to the 6th, 1-0. Yankees trail. Tarrytown Barth tweeted us, who was the third player the Yankees got along with Tino and Jeff Nelson in a trade with Seattle?
I know this. I was trying to make it seem hard.
All right, let's see what you got. You have Jim Mercier.
But see, I got ex-teammate Jim Mercier, so I knew this. I was going to make you confused.
See, but I'm not buying. Let's see if it's correct.
Well, of course it's correct. He came over with Seattle, and he actually did a lot better than people thought. He did a good job in the bullpen for us.
See, now I'm starting to doubt your honesty a little bit, and I'm sure that Chris is too. You said you didn't know, and then all of a sudden you come
I was
up
trying to make you think that it was very hard. It wasn't hard.
He
but
plays
if
possum.
You see that?
Well, you continue
Just
to
laying
get it
in the
right.
weeds
Hey,
there.
the bald guy's 2 for 2.
You know what? Look at this, though. Chris, you got way too much time on your hands. Look how he decorates his answers and everything else.
Pinstripes.
Yeah.
Oh, also, again, they keep that same ugly, hideous picture
What's
of me.
wrong with that picture?
It's 40 pounds ago.
I tell you what, this is gone.
Look at that.
Look at that. Meredith is out. We're like Wally Pippen, Meredith. She's out of the game. She's gone.
Also, first of all, she's got days off. She's watching. Then why isn't she here?
Because she can look it up while she's at home.
I know. I don't like it. She's out.
See? Chris, are you in on this? Is she out?
Hey, whenever you guys will have me, I love being on the match game. I'm just waiting for Gene Rayburn to show up.
All right, Charles Nelson Riley, thanks. So Michael Saunders has worked the count to 3-1. All right, Paul, so the camera's off. We can unloosen the tie or loosen the tie.
Thank you.
Unloosen means we have to tighten.
So we have a different dress code for camera on, camera off.
Oh, yeah. Foul back.
Well, we were up here playing yes games. This game continues 1-0. Both guys know that you can't give up big innings today. Both these teams facing each other's hottest pitcher. feel like I'm in a wrestling match up here. Audrey like clips these things on the back of your tie, and you can't even get the headphones are coming off. Everything.
3-2. Sky to center field. Granderson makes the play. Got a game tomorrow. Tomorrow's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America's ever seen. Iwakuma 2-2, 4.10 against Garcia, 4-5, 5.10. Coverage will begin at 12:30 p.m. with the pregame show right here on Yes, and 1:07 should be the first pitch. Alex Rodriguez has been working out a lot, and Joe already explained what Alex is doing. He's doing everything that he can without involving that left wrist and hand. And he's swinging the bat right-handed so that when he has to go, that he could use his left hand, then he'll be only a couple of days away from getting back.
Well, he was one of the few guys when you looked up. He was running wind sprints when I showed up today, and you knew what it was like on the field. So, you know, he is getting his work. In case the Jets call, he is getting a little work there.
Now you see him with that football. He was an outstanding quarterback in high school in Miami, where a lot of people thought that he could actually play professionally. That's why he wears number 13, because his idol growing up was Dan Marino. And he's got a great arm. He had a great arm from short and still from third, so he can throw it.
Boy, that was an era down in Miami. If you were a football player, how could you not be a Dan Marino fan?
One-two. Foul back. He used to throw to Doug Minkiewicz on the same high school team.
How are you pulling that all back together for me? I do remember that story.
Well, if you remember Jim Mercier, you should remember that. The 1-2. Punched out toward right field. And it's a base hit. Boy, you couldn't have thrown it any better. A base hit for Montero, his second of the day.
That bat will never see another major league game. Shattered. Died a hero, though, knocking it out in the right field. Right off the end of the bat. Good pitch. Robbie does everything he can just to be, even if he does stop it, there's no way to turn around and throw. Those base hits as a right fielder, you actually have to charge, because if you don't, they won't even get to you. They weren't hit hard enough.
So Jaso has hit the ball hard twice, a double, and then he lined into a double play at first base. And that one he laces into left center field. That's a base hit. Curtis Granderson throws into second. Jaso has a single, moving to third as Montero.
Montero did a good job there. You know, this was when you're out running from first base, you pick up the center fielder on this play, and you don't even use your third base coach. Right there, you know, he's picking up the ball. He sees that Granderson took kind of a funny angle and didn't round it off. Wasn't going to be able to put anything on the throw. First to third, you know, Granderson kind of rounded it off that way instead of cutting it off short. Good base running there, especially with one out. I mean, these runs, Michael, you've talked about it, mean so much. As good as King Felix has been on the mound.
Here's Kyle Seager with 2 ground balls today. One to first and one back to the mound.
Well, we talked about that move that we can't use it next year, right? So they're getting their money's worth this year.
Yeah. The Jeff Nelson.
If you're Seager, I mean, you've got a pitch right there. All you're doing is looking for something up in the zone that you can drive to the outfield to get this run in. You got a hanging breaking ball, and you didn't put it in play. See bat head just under it. It's an easy pitch to get an easy thing done, and with a long fly ball, but just a nice sacrifice fly. If you're Kuroda here, you're 1-1, and you're still in your mind, you're thinking double play. Let's get a double play, get a good pitch. And then if you get into that 2-strike count, all of a sudden it changes. You go away from the double play ball and you try to get that strikeout where you can get try to get out of this inning by yourself.
Popped him up. That will not score a run as Jeter makes the play for the second out.
And that ball, good pitch, right in on his hands. Looking back, you'll go back to the dugout. Very disappointed you didn't get the job done. You see this pitch here. That's a good pitch. But the pitch that you think about is that hanging breaking ball. The one he started the count off with. Pitch is very easy to hit to the outfield and didn't get it done. Kuroda's been in this situation a couple times today. A couple times he's got out of it. One time he gave up that big 2-out hit. That's why he's down 1-0 as we speak. So here we go again.
And a nice pitch. Strike on the outside corner to Wells.
Again, that slider early in the count. You know, most hitters go up there looking dead fastball early in the count. And if you can throw just a good mediocre slider for a strike, a lot of times you can get away with it without even a swing. He's really trying to pitch now, going in and out, changing speeds. Casper, well, you saw that ball in off the plate yesterday. You remember that fastball away from CC Sabathia ended up in the bullpen. So that's the pitch that looks like he can handle. So you want to throw him off speed away and you want to throw him hard stuff in.
Up the middle, but right there is Cano. He steps on second, and Kuroda gets out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. Ichiro will lead it off. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. All right, sometimes it plays out just the way you thought. 2 outstanding pitchers going at each other, and it's Hernandez against Kuroda. It's a 1-0 game. as Seattle leads. Yankees have had one man in scoring position. That was with 2 outs in the first inning. They have one other base runner. Ichiro single out the glove of Carp, and that was it as Ichiro leads off here in the 6th. And there's a strike. There have been so many rumors and so many requests about Felix Hernandez and possibly being traded. So many teams have an interest in him. This guy would slide in and be the #1 starter on most teams. Line drive caught by Seager. And there's two schools of thought, Paul. The Mariners are still a while away. And will he still be that valuable pitcher when they get to the point when they can actually compete? The other one is, well, we're going to hold on to him because he's our best player. Why would you trade a great pitcher? That's what you're trying to build around. He's 26 years old, but he's been around a while. And the Mariners have resisted every single overture about a possible trade. They could get a huge return for him.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And they went through this years and years ago with Randy Johnson, and they ended up doing pretty well with it. So I'm kind of the school of the thought with your first thought is you have to figure out, you know, if you're the manager's GM in the organization, are you 3, 4, 5 years away from possibly, you know, going to the playoffs? And if you are, is he going to be that type of pitcher in 5 years?
Saunders puts away Martin for the second out. And they've got him signed, which is important. And, you know, they had to get rid of Randy Johnson because they knew they couldn't afford him. But they have Hernandez signed, which makes him even more valuable, both to them and to a team that might acquire him. But, again, they don't seem inclined to make a trade. And they've got good, highly thought-of young pitching in the minor league system that's maybe a level away from the majors. People think they've got great pitchers down there. So would you trade Hernandez to fill some position spots because they're not a good hitting team?
Yeah, they don't score runs, but again, you saw some of their new guys that they've just called up. Some of the power arms they brought out of the bullpen last night. I mean, Cap, his major league debut yesterday, first pitch 100 miles an hour, and guys around the cage were talking about it. I mean, it was 100. It wasn't you know, one of those things that looked on. It was a true 100-mile-an-hour fastball. So you do have some people coming up, but again, I mean, he's really your draw. When you go out there, you know, if you pick up the paper and think, you know, am I going to go to a Seattle game, and you see he's pitching, you're more apt to go out there. He has a big following with the, you know, the King's Court and all the K signs. So it's hard for an organization to give up not only a good player but a great player, you know, an ex-Cy Young guy. Makes it very difficult.
And also a homegrown guy. Yeah, every game he pitches down the left field line in Safeco Field is something called King's Court. Everybody wears yellow shirts, and you know, he's very popular. And for a team that's not winning a lot, you've got to keep your fans engaged. And there's a ball as Granderson walks. Only the Yankees' third base runner.
Jeter.
Derek Jeter up at the mound. I mean, you don't mind if Derek Jeter ends up leading off next inning. So if you're Granderson, you got to think, you know, it's about time in the game you take a chance, possibly try to steal a base here, and then, you know, put Derek in a good position where he can score you with a single.
Seager playing Derek to pull deep at third and close to the line. Rarely do you see Derek pull a ball right down the third baseline, an odd defensive configuration there. A lot of the left side of the infield is open as the shortstop Ryan shades up the middle.
It seems like they've gone to the no doubles early in the game, knowing this is going to be a one-run game or a close game. You know, right here, a ball here won't score a guy from first base, where a ball down the line will.
A lot of right center field is open for Jeter as the right fielder Thames is close to the line and right. And Saunders shades that way. But Jeter hits a lot right there.
Right.
it that way, but there's Hackley, and they get the force at second. And 6 shutout innings for Felix Hernandez. Will go to the 7th. Carp will lead it off. It's 1-0 Mariners. The game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Not much to summarize. It's just 1-0 Seattle. They scored that run in the 2nd inning on a single by Mike Carp. Hernandez, 6 innings of shutout ball, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, just 2 hits. Kuroda, 6 innings, 6 hits. That 1 run we spoke about, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and the Carp RBI single is the only blemish on an otherwise scoreless board.
Michael, again, I've learned a lot off the scoreboard this trip, and you know, we just had the YMCA and everybody's dancing, and you know, they show women, the women can dance, they show the men they can't dance. What is it? Why can women all dance? It's like innate or something?
I don't know. I think I'm a pretty good dancer.
Well, I went to your wedding and you're not, so
oh please,
no,
I got video of it. Even we got you up to dance at that wedding.
Really?
Yeah, you were up there.
I don't remember that.
Cadillac scoreboard 1-0 Seattle. We had Coney up.
Yeah, he was leading the conga line all the way around the plaza.
Logan.
You need to like renew your vows every year just to have a party, right?
I don't know if I have the money for that.
Just throw it to yes. Everybody enjoyed it, didn't they?
Yeah. So I'm walking up third Avenue last weekend.
All right.
Outdoor cafe, relax. David Cohn eating a seafood platter, enjoying life.
Like on the TV set.
Absolutely. Looked like he couldn't have been happier. Carp grounds one to third, backhanded by Chavez, and not away.
I'll tell you what, Eric Chavez, you can tell defensively, he just makes everything look easy. I mean, kind of, as a player, you either charge it or you stay back to give yourself an easy hop. And he reads the ball so well, makes that play look easy. Where if you charge that ball, get it in between hop, can be very tough.
Here's Eric Thames. Well, he does not get cheated on his swings. Count 0-1.
Yeah, he's had all kind of trouble getting tied up with that fastball, and you would think that he'd be a fastball hitter, a guy that wants to really pull the ball strong. He's had all kind of trouble with his ball inside. So did you sit down and join Coney at the
Well, I don't like seafood. I like Coney, so I had a decision to make. We just stopped and said hello. We talked for a little bit.
Drew a crowd and you had to leave?
No. That's the beauty of New York. They don't care.
You know what? They do care about sports. I've heard your radio show.
Yeah. The 2-1. Foul back, 2-2. .101 pitches for Kuroda, so he's winding down right here. Girardi would like to get him through this inning.
It's amazing how good he's been. Really, out of that 101, he's really missed with 3 or 4 pitches all game.
Base hit for Thames. Swisher fires the ball in the second. Thames running hard all the way, picks up a double. That's a hustle double.
I'll tell you what, right out of the box, he was thinking double. Sometimes as an outfielder, you go over and you figure if you cut it off, but you see this is right out of the box, head down. He's going to second. This is, if you're Eric Wedge, this is what you want to see out of a team like this. Just absolutely going, taking chances, running. Nick Swisher kind of have to turn and can't get much on that throw.
So runner at second now with 1 out. And here's Brendan Ryan. Now Ryan gets hit. Now I was wondering if this was going to happen, Paul. The last time the Yankees were in Seattle, a lot of batters got hit. And when Hernandez pitched, 3 guys got hit, including Alex Rodriguez, who was knocked out for 2 months because of it. And there was no retaliation yesterday, a close game. Now first base is open. He's winding down his outing. Do you think that might have been on purpose?
You know, it's really hard to think in a 1-0 game. You see that ball's running in. I mean, seldom do you throw a 2-seamer in there. That ball's just running in on it. In a 1-0 game, very hard to even think about that kind of stuff.
Well, that hit by pitch is the last pitch that Kuroda is going to throw. They're tending to Ryan. Kuroda gets a nice warm hand walking up the mound, and Joe Girardi will go to the bullpen and try to hold it right here. And he turns the game over to Boone Logan. A couple of weeks ago with Hernandez on the mound, Suzuki got plunked. Then Jeter got hit. And then Alex Rodriguez got knocked out of the season, at least 2 months of the season, with that changeup. Now, most of the Yankees felt, Paul, that was not on purpose. And Ryan gets plunked right on the elbow, has to leave the game. And they said they don't think he did it on purpose, but there's also a school of thought in baseball that even if you don't do it on purpose, you got to be more careful.
there becomes a numbers thing, and if it's, you know, you see 3, 4, 5 of your guys getting hit in this series, sure, you take it, you know, take it into account. But again, this is a 1-0 game, and you know, I don't see it here, but you know, you do remember teams that do pitch inside, and right, if you're that reckless that you don't care if you're throwing inside, hitting guys, and obviously you have to protect your guys. But you know, you're in a situation, and that's one thing about being the New York Yankees and being in first place. It's hard to get in throwing wars against other teams because of what happened to Alex Rodriguez.
Right.
You know, you get another guy hurt, you know, your chances of the playoffs are limited, and you know, Seattle is not going through that.
Munenori Kawasaki pinch runs for Ryan at first. The 1-0 from Logan is outside 2-0. And by the way, the hit by pitch of Jeter and A-Rod, that was in the same inning. The only pitcher to ever do that, hit those two guys in the same inning. The 2-0. Ackley fouls it back.
Looking at a 1-0 game, and Kuroda's done such a good job, and Boone Logan's in this situation now. Seattle's 1 for 7 today with runners in scoring position, so this could be a much different game. The Yankees pitchers have been successful so far in these big at-bats. Logan smart to go to a breaking ball there. Wasn't his best, but just because it was a breaking ball, actually dead fastball right there.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. It's 1-0 Seattle. 2-2. High fly ball. Center field. Granderson is there. He'll make the play for the second out. Paul, I'm not quite sure. Why did Thames play that halfway? Why didn't he tag?
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I mean, you can go halfway, but you still have time when you see Granderson camped on to get back. You know, you might cause him to throw to third and move another runner up. So it's, you know, again, get back at this point, make him at least make a throw to third base. You never know what can happen. He can overthrow a cutoff man, anything.
And Paul, if you're an outfielder there, Granderson's not throwing to third. He doesn't want that runner to move to second. So you go to third without a throw, and then if Boone Logan bounces one, you score. That didn't make sense not to tag. He had that all the way. Here's Michael Saunders against Logan. Oh, and 1.
Sometimes base runners do the same thing as everybody else. It's the read you get off the bat, and sometimes you don't think it's gone deep enough. That pulp, I agree with you, Mike, was plenty deep enough to tag up and go to third. I didn't realize things ran that well either when he got out of the box and stretched that ball into a double.
Tomorrow, don't miss a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper gives his thoughts on Jabba Chamberlain's return and previews next week's road trip to Detroit and Toronto. Plus, Joe answers your questions from Facebook and Twitter. It's a new Joe Girardi Show tomorrow at 5. It's only on Yes. 1-1. Missed outside. The 2-1. 2-2.
Back to the success of C.C. Sabathia. I think Boone Logan watched some of that tape because these Seattle Mariners, the left-handed hitters especially, are having a tough time with breaking balls from lefties.
2-2. He got him. Good job by Logan getting Ackley and then Saunders. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, Mariners 1, Yankees nothing. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark, but we'll stay right where we are to honor America in the Bronx.
As we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, joining Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Thank you, Bob. Boy, Alex Rios getting his career back on track, having a good season with the White Sox. White Sox surprising everybody as they lead the Central, and the Yankees will go into Detroit on Monday for a 4-game set against the Tigers, so that will be a big series for both teams. Munenori Kawasaki takes over for Brendan Ryan at shortstop, and as soon as we get information on Ryan, we will pass it along. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Cadillac scoreboard 1-0 Seattle. Cano, Teixeira, and Ibanez against Felix Hernandez. Hit sharply to second. Ackley gobbles it up. Ackley's pretty impressive at second.
Yes, we talked about Brendan Ryan, how good he was at shortstop. Now he's in the clubhouse. But Ackley, again, defensively, he's made some good plays this series. The Seattle Mariners do one thing. They catch the baseball, and it makes it much easier on pitchers. We talked about giving the Yankees only 3 outs an inning, especially in a ballpark like this where the ball can fly out.
Pitch inside to Teixeira, count 1-0.
Look at Hernandez out here. I mean, this is a 1-0 game where, you know, every single pitch can change the outcome, and he looks comfortable. I mean, it just looks like he has his stuff. You see a lot of pitchers just, you know, start gripping the ball tighter and tighter in these close games. This is a true ace on the mound with a 1-run lead, shutting down the New York Yankees to this point.
Hey, get another chance to catch this game and every Yes Network game another time around. If you missed any of the big hits and great plays, just watch the encore later every night or again the next morning at 9. Brought to you by Verizon Fios. Here's Ibanez against his former teammates, the Mariners. Count 1-0. Count 2-0.
And you see there going to the changeup in a fastball count down 1-0, and then this is the type of pitcher he's come in fastball counts, and a lot like CC Sabathia, where he'll use his changeup in a fastball count. All of a sudden you see him walk off the back of the mound. You get 2 quick outs, and it's like, you just want to hurry up and get through this inning, and the next thing you know, you've fallen behind a dangerous hitter here in New York. And Ibanez is a 3-0, and that's ball 4.
That's going to bring up Swisher. Swisher grounded to second and struck out looking. Yankees have managed just 2 hits against Hernandez. The double with 2 outs in the first inning by Cano. The single by Ichiro off the glove of Carp. And that came in the 3rd inning as Ichiro led off and was quickly erased on a double play. Strike.
Curveball there, and I think it's too early. It's the 7th inning, but this is where Joe Girardi is kind of stuck, where he doesn't have anybody that can go in and steal a base if you need a base steal. Brett Gardner being out and Dwayne Wise being gone, it's just there's nobody that you can stick in there confident that he could steal a base.
Like the guy you had on your 98 team, Homer Bush.
Homer Bush, like our good luck charm. Every time he stepped on the field, it seems like we've won.
It seems like you guys won every day anyway.
A lot of games.
Yeah. 125, including the playoffs. And just 50 losses. Swing and a miss. And Swisher down on strikes. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the 8th inning. Jesus Montero will lead it off. Mariners lead 1-0. He works the high home camera here for the Yes Network. Great guy. It's his birthday today, and we wish him a happy birthday. And amazingly, He's 29 today. He looks awful for 29, but still it's his birthday, so we send out those birthday wishes.
Jack's got big plans tonight. Birthday night out.
Jack always has big plans.
Unlike Chris, who I just said, I walked back 3 innings. I'm like, Chris, what are you doing tonight? Big plans? And like, oh, I just had a baby a week ago. So I forgot about those days. When you have a week-old baby at home, you don't have nights out.
There aren't big plans.
No.
David Robertson has big plans to get through the 8th inning without allowing a run. 1-0. Mariners lead the Yanks.
We could just coattail Jack tonight. Probably have a good time. Right?
I think you follow that route every day and you'll have a good time. Jack doesn't get cheated on any calendar days.
I know one thing. If you follow him every day, you're in a different booth every day, though. He leaves us a lot.
He's in demand. The Hyundai scoreboard, 1-0. Mariners lead the Yanks. Montero 2 for 3. Down 0-2. Montero likes hitting here at Yankee Stadium. That's why the Yankees were excited about him and Yankee fans. 19 hits and 46 at bats. That's 413. 4 home runs and 12 ribbies. And that's just in 14 games. And his swing is suited for a ballpark that plays small toward right field.
I think Robertson just apologized to Russell when he threw that ball in the dirt.
No apologies necessary for that, as Montero is out. Here's the pitch that Paul's talking about before the road show.
I don't think I've ever heard an apology from a pitcher for throwing one in the dirt. Just trying to take care of your catcher there.
How did you hear that?
My ears still work.
Yeah, I guess. Here's John Jaso. Count 1-0. Jaso scored the only run of the game. He doubled in the second, led off with the double. Moved the third on a Seager ground ball to first. Stayed put on Wells' pop-up to short, and then scored on Carp single. This time he grounds out for the second out here in the 8th.
Boy, the clouds are scattered. The sun scared them away. It's beautiful out here today.
Here's Seager.
See that guy right there, Michael?
You like the way he runs around the stadium?
He's going to Jack's birthday party. Man. Walking right over there.
I think he's going to be a big part of it. There's a strike. Count 1-2. We're in the 8th inning. Seattle 1, the Yankees nothing. You don't want to send the lefty up against David Robertson because they don't succeed. They hit 176 against him. Righties are actually at 236.
Neither of them very good. I mean, this shows you what kind of stuff he has.
And now 176 just got lower. That's a strong inning for Robertson. 2 strikeouts. Mariners go down in order 1-2-3. Yankees trying to get on the board. Chavez, Ichiro, and Martin coming up. Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty recap the big plays from today's game and get the latest scores from around baseball. Plus, Chris Sheeran gets the reaction from the clubhouse. And you could also hear Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame, and it's only on Yes. Yankees running out of time. 6 more outs to try to get on the board. We're in the bottom of the 8th. It's Chavez, Suzuki, and Martin against Hernandez, who deals a strike. Hyundai scoreboard 1-0 Seattle. Chavez 4 for 33 lifetime against Hernandez. That's 121. He's 0 for 2 today with a fly ball to center and a ground ball to first.
Top of the 8th inning, 79 pitches, and it's just like Hernandez is just very comfortable with everything.
Driven out to center field. Saunders is there. Hardly had to move. 1 out. Look at the pitch count, Paul.
Unbelievable. 80 pitches now.
Yep.
And he's been able to use his changeup when he needs. He's had no really hard innings. 17 pitches, the most in the 5th.
And that was a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. Ichiro, 1 of the 2 hits. Actually, he's hit the ball hard twice. The single off the glove of Karp in the 3rd, and then he lined out to Seager at 3rd in the 6th. He now has an 11-game hitting streak. He's hit in every game with the Yanks.
Curveball there, and Hernandez is not going to miss in a 1-0 game with a hanging breaking ball. He's overthrown a couple of them, just knowing that he wants to keep that ball down, get good break on it. There's a good one there.
Started off a little rocky first 13 games. Last 9, though, 5-0, 1.60. Yankee streak of 21 straight home games with a home run also in jeopardy here as we're 1 out into the 8th inning.
His last outing, he threw the ball great, came out with a lead, so it could have been even better. The bullpen gave it up, so he got a no decision. On top of his game for the last month or so.
Grounded to Kawasaki. And there's 2 away.
This ended up being a little bit harder play than it looked. You talk about kind of in between hops. Kawasaki played it into, and you see this ball come up on him a little bit. It just, you want to try to get the easiest hop you can, but with Ichiro running, sometimes you have to charge those balls you'd like to stay back on.
Russell Martin rounds 1 foul.
Changeup. You see Russell Martin in some of these at bats when there's nobody on, you can tell he gets a little home run conscious, tries to hit a ball, try to tie this game up. And as sees that also into the changeup.
And that'll do it. 1-2-3 inning. So after 8 innings, Yankees trail 1-0. You know that this year they have not won a game where they trailed after 8. They're 0-36. Online at yesnetwork.com. Here's today's candidates, and they are all outstanding in what they've done. Felix Hernandez, Hiroki Kuroda, and Mike Karp. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. One nothing. Seattle leads the Yanks as we go to the ninth. David Robertson had a fairly easy 1-2-3 eighth inning, so they will leave him in to pitch the ninth. David threw just 10 pitches in the eighth, and it'll be Wells, Karp, and Thames here in the ninth as they try to hold it at 1-0. It's really an amazing stat that we threw out as we went to break. The Yankees are one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah.
And they have not won one game trailing after 8 innings.
Which is hard to believe. As many big home runs as they could hit, as many big innings as they can put together. I'm wondering, Michael, if this is for pitch reasons, not because he's struggling, if this is a thing where, you send Robertson out to get the first righty out, and you go to the lefty for the next 2 lefties coming up. You're going straight into a big series against Detroit, four straight games. So as good as Robertson is against lefties, I don't know if you want to leave him in for 2 solid innings.
Well, Rapata is ready, the 1-1. Crowd of 47,067 on a Saturday afternoon at Yankee Stadium. Count 2-2.
About the Yankees taking off tomorrow after the game, and then they'll go right in there and face Verlander on Monday night in Detroit. So you get King Felix and Verlander in a couple days span. It's kind of a couple of tough days on the hitters.
Verlander against Nova on Monday. There's strike 3 as Wells is down looking. 3 strikeouts over an inning and a third for Robertson, and Paul O'Neill called it. Joe Girardi quickly out of the dugout. He's going to call him the left-hander. Not because he doesn't think that Robertson could get out the lefties, but he doesn't want to build up a pitch count and possibly lose him for tomorrow. So Robertson 4 down with 3 strikeouts. Rapata against Karp when we get back. By the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer, by J&R Music and Computer World, and by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. That's a way to cool off. Right outside the stadium, the sprinklers are on.
Actually, that's kind of nice. You're a native of the Bronx, Michael. You used to sit out there under the fire hydrants.
The Johnny Pump, absolutely.
The what? The Johnny Pump.
That's what they call it. And then they would put a sprinkler on the fire hydrant with a Johnny Pump, and you'd run in and out of the water. Good times. Count 1-0.
Carp had a big day, big single, 2-out single to drive in the only run of the game. Good at bats.
Oh. Lefty's hitting 181 against Rapado, although they've had more success of late. Count 2-1.
You see Carp trying to do everything he can to stay in there, and he's almost kind of lunging to keep that front shoulder in there. Makes it really hard to open up on that inside pitch. So he kind of got beat there. And the big thing off of a sidearmer, especially like Rapado, is to really worry about that front shoulder to keep it in there, and you almost start to lunge in there, and it just gets you off balance a little bit and makes things happen too quick.
Missed inside. Carp actually hits better against lefties, 267 and 186 against righties. Strike 3. Carp tossed the bat away, thought it was a walk. Larry Vanover did not agree. So 2 outs. Thought he was a little bit high. But according to the rule book, it's the letters to the knees, and that was certainly under the letters. You just don't see that pitch called that often. Base hit up the middle off the bat of Eric Thames. His second hit of the afternoon. He's 2 for 4.
Again, here's another situation, and Thames looks like he runs pretty well. You know, you take a gamble. You know, you might be able to steal a run. Who knows? You go on first movement. You don't wait. Try to steal second, where you could score on a single.
Here's Munenori Kawasaki. Took over in the 7th after Brandon Ryan was hit.
It's a situation with a lefty that if you get the steal sign, you know that you're not waiting to get a break, that you're just going on the first movement, and you hope that the manager guesses right. So Rapado slide step there to stay away from that.
Nothing. We're in the 9th inning. Kuroda against Hernandez. But the Yankees have gone to the bullpen. In the 7th, they went to Logan, then Robertson, and the 8th, a little bit of the 9th, and now Rapado. Count 0-2. Hernandez still in there for Seattle. And they'll look for a complete game. CC threw yesterday in the 9th.
Seattle's bullpen looks like it's been closed for business today. Nobody's even stirring out there in a 1-0 game. That's how good that Hernandez has been. All right, Michael, I've told you the rule. If they come over twice in a row, you go. They don't like to come over 3 times.
That's your rule.
That's my rule.
By the way, looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth for the Yankees. Top of the order, Granderson, Jeter, and Cano. If anybody gets on to Sherry. The 0-2. It did not go along the O'Neill rules.
Would have been safe. See that? Russell had a tough pitch to throw on.
Lofted to center field. Granderson's there, and that's going to do it. So the Yankee bullpen has done a good job. Now it's time for the offense to do something. Can they come back? They trail 1-0. Top of the order coming up. This season coverage starts at 12:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Paul and I are back here at the stadium to follow all the action, and it's only on Yes. He has 20 career complete games. He has 2 this season. He's going to go for 21-3, but he's going to do it against the top of the Yankee order. The crowd trying to make some noise and spur on the Yankees. A lot of zeros on that board except for that one single solitary run in the second, and that's held up. Strike the shift is on for Granderson. 3 infielders on the right side. Ackley playing in shallow right field. Only Seager on the left.
The problem with Hernandez today as far as hitting him, he's got a plus average fastball, plus average changeup, and a plus average curveball. And he is able today to throw all 3 of them anytime he wants for a strike. And that's very tough on a hitter because you can't sit on one pitch, and every time you think you're on to one, they'll just go to something else.
Well, what the Mariners did there with 2 strikes is they moved their third baseman Seager to the right side of the infield, and they moved Kawasaki back to the regular shortstop because with less than 2 strikes running against the bunt, they had Seager up close. So now that the bunt has been removed, they have the shortstop playing in the more comfortable position of shortstop. Count 1-2. Carp deep and close to the line at first. The 1-2 pitch. Driven out into center field. Saunders right there for the first out. So Granderson hit it hard, but right at Michael Saunders.
You said it, Michael. It's been one of the few balls hit hard all day since Robbie laced a double in the first inning.
Joe Girardi was asked before the game, how do you beat Felix Hernandez? And he said, you got to take advantage of every opportunity you have. And you can't really knock this Yankee team. They had 1 runner in scoring position. That was in the first inning. So there haven't been opportunities that they've let go by. They've just been completely shut down by a great pitcher. Here's Derek Jeter, who's 0 for 3, has a 7-game hitting streak on the line.
That opportunity you're talking about, Robbie Cano. I mean, and that's a two-out double. So you had, one hitter with an opportunity, and that was it.
And Teixeira popped the second. Jeter checks his swing, or at least he tried, but he goes around, says Vanover, so the count 0-1. Two.
Again, you look at other at-bats, and Hernandez has done a good job of switching up his sequence every time up. Last time he blew Derek away with a fastball. This time it's been 2 breaking balls. This time he went up and away to put him away. It seems like he's changing every time a hitter comes up to the plate. Go back to that fastball up and away. Didn't quite get it up out of the zone.
And the 0-2. 1-2.
You see the movement of the ball. That's a changeup, and you just don't see that much movement from a changeup. I mean, this ball, he started here and ended up down in here, and it's still at 90 miles an hour, so he doesn't take that much off of it, but he just gets a ton of movement out of it.
High fly ball, right field. Thames coming in will make the play for the second out. Yankees are down to their final out as Robinson Cano comes to the plate.
I'll tell you one thing, Michael, if nothing changes here, this is one of the most comfortable shutouts I think anybody has ever thrown against the New York Yankees in the last years. I mean, it just looks like he's never been in trouble. He's had total command of all of his pitches. Never got to a point where, he had to struggle or aim a pitch or anything. Just looked very relaxed to be in a 1-0 game. This is the one hitter in the Yankee lineup that he does have trouble with. Robbie Cano's had we put it up earlier, 4 home runs, 8 RBI.
Jeter goes by Hernandez and gives him a little shove as he walks by him off the field. Almost a playful way of saying good job. These have been good spots for Cano. 7th inning or later in a tied or a 1-run game. Hitting .321, 4 homers and 8 runs batted in. And those are the numbers against Hernandez.
A lot of balls in the dirt today from Hernandez when he missed, and it was like he was not going to miss up in the zone. The only ball you've seen letter high has been his fastball, and that's how he's been able to keep the ball in the ballpark today. Everything he missed was down in the dirt. And those are mistakes that you can live with because the hitters can't do anything with it.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him, and what a dominant performance by Felix Hernandez as he shuts out the Yankees 1-0. A complete game, 2-hit shutout against the New York Yankees. And the Yankees are now 0-7 in the last 7 games, decided by 1 run.
Again, we talked about how good Hernandez and Jaso are together. I mean, this is going to have to be a regular thing. There's a shutout. He came into the game 4-0 with him. There's 5-0. The ERA was 1.11. Now that went down because he didn't give up anything today. Tremendous job by Felix Hernandez.
You got to stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. Yankees win yesterday 6-3, a complete game by CC Sabathia. Mariners even up the series with a 1-0 victory today. We'll give out an award and wrap things up when we get back.